I don't think I've seen any other infotainment system that has this much animation in it. Steve McQueen, the Beatles, Enzo Ferrari, they all had one thing in common. They all owned Minis. They didn't choose the Mini for its power or luxury. They chose it because it matched their personality. Minis were tiny, cheeky rebels on wheels. But over the years, under BMW's leadership, Minis got bigger and smarter. And eventually, to keep up with the world's growing demand for SUVs, BMW built a larger Mini on the same platform as the X1. But once a rebel, always a rebel. And that's exactly what the Mini Countryman is to me. It's a grown-up version of a troublemaker, which is the original Mini Cooper. Now, even though the BMW X1 and the Countryman share the same platform, the Mini has somehow managed to carve out its own personality. With the 2025 model year, Mini has introduced the third generation Countryman and brought along some interesting changes as well. Chief among them is the design. Now, to me personally, I feel like the Countryman has become more mature now, and that's primarily because it's taken up a more angular design, has become slightly bigger, and those wide wheel arches gives it a more muscular appeal. Now, up front, you get a very upright nose, and that angular design is emphasized by these octagonal shaped grille as well. Over in the corners, you notice that the circular, iconic Mini headlamps have now evolved to a more square-off design. These headlamps are now surrounded by customizable DRLs. From the sides, you realize how clean and proportionate the design of the Countryman has become now. All that excess detailing have been stripped away to make way to a more smoother, tighter line and a more square-off design for the glass areas. Further back, you get a new design for the C-pillar, which changes depending on the model. And at the bottom, you get options to choose from 17 to 20-inch wheels, depending on the variant. And on the higher trims, you also get a design that's more aero-optimized. Now, moving to the rear, the biggest change here are the tail lamp signatures. Now, the tail lamps on its own have become slimmer than before, and for the first time feature the ability to display different patterns, including the iconic Union Jack design. To talk dimensions, the Countryman is slightly smaller than the X1. The Mini is 4.4 meters long, 1.6 meters tall, and gets a ground clearance of 203 millimeters. Now, overall, the Countryman's design gets that grown-up sort of vibe. It screams that I've got my life sorted energy. And that pattern continues when you step inside. Don't get me wrong, because considering its price, which we will get to in a bit, the Countryman is very much in the luxury segment. But as you would expect, it doesn't take the traditional approach to it. Because when rivals like the X1, the Audi Q3, the Volvo XC40, and even the Lexus UX all use premium materials like leather wherever possible, the Countryman, feels like how a Mini should feel like. Look at it this way. If the rivals like to dress up in a tailored suit, the Countryman shows up in a knitted sweater and chinos. But the real showstopper here is this, the massive 9.4-inch circular OLED display right in the center of the dashboard. I don't think I've seen any other infotainment system that has this much animation in it. Check this out. The digital assistant transforms into a dog that reacts to commands. But of course, you still get all the essentials that you expect today, like wireless CarPlay, assisted driving tech, and customizable ambient lighting that also change according to the drive modes. But knowing that one display is not good enough for everything, the driver is also treated to a pop-up heads-up display that pop up as soon as you start the car. And of course, Mini couldn't resist keeping their signature toggles. Retro-styled aircraft switches for drive modes, traction control, drive selector, and that old-school ignition key toggle. In fact, the whole cabin has this playful, thoughtful, slightly quirky Mini way of doing things. But where the new Countryman really surprises you is with the amount of space it now has. The rear seats are genuinely more usable than before. More legroom, a higher seating position, large windows, and the panoramic sunroof all ensures that the cabin feels bright and airy. The seats even slide and recline, making long drives a whole lot more comfortable. We even tried the self-drive bottle test in the center console, the door bins, and even in the rear armrests. In terms of safety features, you get 4 ISOFIX anchors, and the car comes with 10 airbags as a whole. Boot space is now 460 liters, which is more than enough for your weekend bags and airport runs. If you fold the seats down, you get over 1,450 liters, making this the most practical Mini ever. But practicality aside, it's still a Mini, and Minis are known to be fun behind the wheel. So let's see if this grown-up Mini still holds at that charm. Now this is where the Countryman comes alive. Before you even set off, you get to choose the kind of experience you want. From core to timeless to go-kart mode, the Countryman takes on a different personality with each one. And each mode gets its own ambient lighting theme. My favorite is of course the go-kart mode, which is sports mode in other cars. Now in this mode, the throttle response is more immediate, the steering wheel adds on a bit more weight, and the suspension also stiffens up. The C-Favorite trim we're driving today uses a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that produces 168 horsepower and 280 Nm of torque. So it's not technically a rocket ship, but that's never been Mini's style, has it? Alright, so since we are already in sport mode, we might as well get the 0 to 100 test out of the way, right? So the brake pedal is fully pressed, and we build up the revs, and we lift off in 3, 2, 1. The official 0 to 100 km/h time is gained to be 8.3 seconds. And comes that torque surge, and that was 100. So we've done that test a couple of times, and on average we're shown about 10 seconds. Now in a highway scenario, the Countryman feels very refined, and the suspension makes the ride quality very smooth, in a way that it almost feels like a BMW. You also get lane keep assist, distance control, speed limiter, and the usual BMW-style driver aids. But like I said before, Minis are known for being great around the corners. And I'm happy to report that the Countryman does not disappoint. It feels as agile as a Mini should, and the steering does a great job. It's like you point the car to a direction and it just goes. But in terms of drawbacks, I am nitpicking here, but see, everything in the car is displayed on this circular infotainment system. Now, even though the heads-up display shows you navigation directions from third-party applications like Google Maps, it doesn't show you the turn signals. So when you're quickly changing lanes, you might not notice it, especially if you have music playing. And again, like most modern cars, the temperature control is also buried in the infotainment system. So when you're driving along, it becomes a bit of a hassle to adjust it. But the biggest drawback, in my opinion, is the price tag. That starts at roughly about 200,000 dirhams. But the good news is that there is a workaround, which I will get to right after I sum up my thoughts of the car. See, the Countryman to me is a mixture of both a BMW and a Mini. It takes the refinement and comfort from the BMW and combines it with that mischievous and rebellious character that Mini is known for and brings it to the modern world. Yes, rivals like the X1 and the Audi Q3 offer a bit more luxury, but it just doesn't make you feel like how this car does. That's why I feel like the Countryman appeals to people who like to go against the stride. And it kind of shows in the sales figures as well, because in its class, the Countryman is probably the least sold model. I don't know about you, but to me, that makes the Countryman the underdog of the segment. No doubt that hefty price tag does play a huge role in that. And the workaround to that is that you can just rent it from the self-drive app. If you download the self-drive app, you can get the Countryman for quite a reasonable amount, which includes insurance, registration, and service. So all that's left for you to do is enjoy the car. So that's my time with the Mini Countryman. Until we see you next time, this is Philip signing off.